Today I am going to take the class and the topic is rules of punctuation. Punctuation and capitalization are the two most important parts of our syllabus. Sometimes we find that there are a lot of rules and structures for the students to memorize so that they can make the solution of punctuation marks, but today I am going to explain the rules of punctuation marks within a limited span. First of all, punctuation. The parts of punctuation: full stop. Second, note of interrogation. Note of interrogation. Thirdly, note of exclamation. Note of exclamation. Fourthly, inverted comma. Inverted comma. And at last, only comma. All of these punctuation marks will be used according to the structure and rules. First of all, let me explain the rules of full stop. Rules of full stop. Rules of full stop. Rule 1. At the end of the sentence, at the end of the sentence, full stop is used. Full stop is used. Except interrogative sentence. Except interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence. Now I am going to provide the example. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. This is a full expression of the speaker. I am a teacher. Here full stop will be used. You are my students. You are my students. Both of these sentences are written in the affirmative form. At the end of these sentences, full stop is used. In rule 2, you will find the using of brief expression. The using of brief expression. Brief expression of the extended form. Of the extended form always contain full stop. Always contain full stop. Full stop. As for example, we can take this. United States of America. United States of America. The spelling is AMERICA. Then the brief form will be USA. USA. So look at the whiteboard and try to understand, try to realize in what way the using of full stops are applied here. In the first rule, at the end of the sentence, full stop is used except interrogative sentence. Example, I am a teacher, you are my students. In the next rule, you are going to learn that the using of brief expression of the extended form always contain full stop. As for example, United States of America, USA. In the next discussion, I am going to explain the using of note of interrogation. In what way note of interrogation is used. Note of interrogation. Note of interrogation. First of all, rule 1. Rule 1. If the sentence is started with auxiliary verb, that means helping verb. Auxiliary verb, that means helping verb. That means helping verb. Helping verb. Then note of interrogation is used at the end of the sentence. Note of interrogation. Note of interrogation is used at the end of the sentence. At the end of the sentence. Perhaps all of you know that there are some auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs in English, like am, is, are, was, were, have, has, had, shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, etc. If the sentence contains or possesses such kind of auxiliary verb in the rudiment or beginning, then you will have to understand that this sentence is an interrogative one, and as a result you will have to use note of interrogation at the end of the sentence. Are you ill today? Is he helping you? Now look at the rudiment or beginning or starting of these two sentences. Both of these sentences are started with auxiliary verb or helping verb. As a result, I have used note of interrogation at the end of these sentences. This is the first rule of note of interrogation. Now I am going to explain the second rule. The second rule is dependent on the using of WH question. Rule 2. The sentence which contains WH question. WH question in the rudiment. In the rudiment or starting. Then at the end of the sentence, question mark or note of interrogation is used. Question mark or note of interrogation. Note of interrogation is used. Note of interrogation is used. WH questions are very familiar with us, like what, where, when, why, which, who, whom, how it is, etc. This type of WH questions always implies that the sentence is written in the interrogative form. and definitely note of interrogation will be used at the end of the sentence. Now look at the example. I am going to efface these rules for writing the example. What are you learning today? What are you learning today? When will you go home? Both of these sentences are started with WH question. For this reason, note of interrogation is compulsory for using at the end of these sentences. Now let me explain note of exclamation and all its rules. Note of exclamation. Note of exclamation. Rule 1. Rule 1. If the interjections are used like hurrah, oh, or alas, then note of exclamation will be used after writing these words. Writing these words. Example. Alas, my friend is dead. Friend is dead. Alas, note of exclamation and then full stop. Alas, my friend is dead. This is an interjection. After writing such kind of word, you will have to use note of exclamation. Then next example, oh, I am injured. The same rules will be applied in this sphere. Now I am going to explain the rules of inverted commas. But before that, I want to explain the rule number 2 of note of exclamation. Rule 2. If the sentence is started with what or how, then note of exclamation will be used at the end. Will be used at the end of the sentence. At the end of the sentence. Example. What a fine boat it is. What a fine boat it is. Note of exclamation. How fine the boat is. How fine the boat is. Both of these sentences are started by writing what and how. As a result, I have used note of exclamation at the end of the sentence. Now you may ask me the question, in what way you will be able to differentiate the exclamatory sentences and the using of note of interrogation? Because both of these sentences in both of these spheres, what or how can be used at the rudiment or starting of these sentences. Now I am going to explain these differences. In the left side, I am going to write the characteristic of interrogative sentence. Characteristic of interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence is also started with what or how. What or how. Characteristic of exclamatory sentence. Characteristic of exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence. This type of sentences can also be started with what or how. But the difference lies in the fact that if the sentence is written in the interrogative form, then verb will be used, auxiliary verb will be used after writing what or how. But if the sentence is written in the exclamatory form, then auxiliary verb will be written at the end of the sentence. Auxiliary verb at the end. Now we can also watch two examples. They are differentiated from each other. What is she expecting? What a fine boat it is. What a fine boat it is. Both of these sentences are started by writing what, but the difference lies in the fact that in the interrogative sentence you will find the auxiliary verb after writing what or how. But in the exclamatory sentence, when you are going to use the note of exclamation, you will find the auxiliary verb at the end. As a result, these sentences are differentiated from each other and their punctuation marks also different. Now I am going to explain the rules of inverted commas. Inverted comma. Rule 1. Subject said. A complete sentence. Reja said, I am ill. Look at this example. Subject said, and after that I have written a complete sentence. In this sphere, you will have to use comma after writing said, and the entire sentence or complete sentence will have to be covered by inverted comma. Reja said, I am ill. In rule 2, you will find another structure. Subject said to object. A complete sentence. Objective case and then only comma. The main sentence, the complete sentence will have to be covered by using inverted comma. According to this structure, now I am going to write the example. Reja said to Mim, I am ill. I am ill. By applying this structure, this rule, you will have to use comma after writing Mim, because this is the object of this reporting verb. And the reported speech or the main sentence, the complete sentence, will have to be used by inverted comma. Rule 3. The rule of 1 can be written in the reverse way. First of all, a complete sentence, and then subject said will be used at the end. Subject said. Then inverted comma will be used in the sphere of complete sentence, like I am ill. I am ill, Reja said. Reja said. I am ill. Rule 4. A complete sentence, and then subject said to object. Subject said to object. But the using of inverted comma will remain unchanged. A complete sentence, I am ill. Reja said to Mim. Reja said to Mim. All these are rules and structures of inverted commas. Now, I am going to explain the only comma, the rules of comma, so that today's discussion can be very fruitful and very beneficial for you. Using of commas is also the important and essential part of punctuation mark. Rules of comma. First of all, if the same type of parts of speech, are placed side by side, then comma will be used. Comma will be used. First of all, noun. Rohim, Korim and Reja are friends. In this sentence, in this sphere, you are watching that 3 nouns are placed side by side. Rohim, Korim and Reja. So, comma will be used after writing Rohim. But no comma will be used between Korim and Reja because here conjunction is used. In the spheres of pronoun, you will find the same expression. You, he and I will go to Dhaka. Go to Dhaka. Pronoun, you, he and I. 3 pronouns are placed side by side. As a result, in the first pronoun, comma is used. In the case of, in the spheres of adjective, the same rule will have to be applied. Reja is honest, pious and educated. So now it is very much clear to us, it is very much obvious to us that in the using of parts of speech, that means same type of parts of speech, comma is always used. Rule 2. If the same word is used side by side, if the same word is used side by side, then comma is also used. Comma is also used. No, no, fi, fi. This type of same words always contain comma. Fi and no. Rule 3. In the spheres of date and address, comma is always used. Comma is always used. Now example. 4th April 2021. 4th April, day, month, year. So comma will be used in the second part. That means after writing the name of month and at last full stop. It can also be written in the reverse way, like April 4 2021. Then comma will be used in the same way like in the second part, and full stop will be used at the end. In the spheres of address, house nong 16, road nong 1, Guptopara, Rangpur, Bangladesh. House nong 16, road nong 1, Guptopara, Rangpur, and at the end full stop. This type of expression is always important for writing and using the commas. Now I am going to explain the rule number 4. Rule 4. If the identity of the subject is expressed or characteristic is expressed, then comma is used. Comma is used. Example. Mr. Rashed, our English teacher. English teacher is ill today. Mr. Rashed, this is the subjective case of the sentence. So here comma is used. After that the identity is expressed. As a result, comma is always used. Comma is also used after writing the identity or characteristic of the subjective case. In rule 5, you will see another rule of using comma. If the following words are used in the beginning of the sentence, in the starting or beginning of the sentence then comma is used. Comma is used. Well, no, yes, yet, oh, therefore, however, indeed, of course, fortunately, unfortunately. Yes, no, well, therefore, indeed, of course, fortunately, unfortunately. Then comma is used. Then comma is used. Example. Indeed, I am your teacher. Here comma will be used. In rule 6 you will find the expression of using words, but the comma will be used at the middle part of the sentence. So what type of words is used here for the using of commas in the middle part? If the sentence is started by writing since, as, that, though, then comma will be used in the middle part of the sentence. In the middle part of the sentence. As I am ill today. Ill today. I will not go to college. Go to college. So I am ill today. This is a complete sentence and independent clause. I will not go to college today. This is also a complete sentence and independent clause. To differentiate, to divide these two clauses, you will have to use comma in the middle part of the sentence. In the next rule, if the subject or object is used in pairs, then comma will be used. Comma will be used. Like rich and poor, rich and poor, weak and strong, weak and strong, men and women, men and women, all must die, all must die. Rich and poor, this is a pair, comma, weak and strong, comma, men and women, comma. Now we are going to the end of the discussion. Addressing word also contains or possesses comma. Addressing word. Addressing word. Sir, madam, uncle, brother, person's name, Example, sir, good morning, comma. You may also write it in the reverse way, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I think you have understood and realized the using of commas here. And at the end I am going to explain the last rule for today. In the possessive case, that means the owner, you will have to use comma. You will have to use comma. This is Rana's pen. This is called in English apostrophe S. It indicates that Rana is the possessor or owner of this pen. Now, I think all of these structures and rules are sufficient for you to make the solution of the board questions for the using of punctuation marks. So, in my next class, I am going to instruct you that in my next class, I will discuss the board solution, board questions solution of punctuation marks, Then you will realize that all of these rules I have discussed today are also necessary and sufficient for you to make the solution of the board questions. Goodbye.